Roma, caput mundi. Rome, capital of the world.
The figurehead of an ancient empire, plays host to a new emerging dynasty, fully electric street racing.
Flat out, go flat out.
A city built on the folklore of chariots and gladiators now opens its gates to a new breed of fighter.
Can anyone threaten Jean-Eric Vergne's reign?
Who can write the latest chapter of the history of these ancient streets?
I'm Neo Formula E racing driver Luca Filippi. And we are here in my home city of Rome for round 7 of the ABB Formula E calendar. Soon, me and 19 other drivers are gonna be racing in this ancient street. Let's see what else we've got coming up in this week's episode.
Also in the show, we'll be watching video games come to life as Audi showcase their new all-electric e-tron Vision Gran Turismo.
We'll be stepping into the driver's briefing here in Rome.
That is not permitted.
And we go behind the scenes in the Neo garage for the inaugural Rome E-PRIX. But first, let's take a special tour of the city with our host Luca Filippi.
Everybody wanted to take Formula E to Rome and to Italy in general. But we all knew that it was very difficult to make it happen. Rome is such a hectic city and the traffic is mad, so many things had to combine, and finally they did. The people are really looking forward to the show, and I think it's gonna be amazing. Rome is fantastic. You just turn a corner and you find something amazing. There is everything from culture to sports to theaters. I think the best place is definitely the Colosseum, because you feel the history, and when you're there you just can't believe that something has been done so many years ago. I love it. The Neo Formula E team is pushing very hard, and it's a new team, it's a new manufacturer, but we're putting a lot of effort and we are learning so much, improving so much. I'm really changing my habits and really changing my style, and getting into the Formula E now I also feel responsible. It's not only that I have to do myself the best job possible to preserve the planet, but I feel I also have to show other people that we can use technology to have our planet less polluted, especially in the city centers. As a Formula E driver, I also feel a representative of this mission. Formula E is literally showing that technology allows us to have electric cars that have no emissions, and I think people are really understanding that this is the way going forward. On the grid, I tell you, there will be so many personalities, so many Italian people, and it's gonna be amazing to see them around and to see the excitement of the fans. From my point of view, I just can't wait to that moment, and I will have to focus a lot. It's gonna be very difficult to take all that away from my mind. The other thing is that I'll try to remind myself that you know, what I'm doing is something very special, that I have to feel very, very lucky. I have to feel grateful for what we're doing, and that is what pushes me to do this job.
From ancient streets to brand new tech.
Audi has transformed a virtual car design taken from the video game Gran Turismo into a real-life racing vehicle. It's safe to say Audi driver Daniel Abt was pretty impressed with the end product.
What we have here is the brand new Audi e-tron Vision Gran Turismo, which is a car that actually was developed for the Gran Turismo game on PlayStation 4. Well, it was the 15th anniversary of Gran Turismo, so in order to celebrate that in a proper way, they decided to come up with this crazy idea of building that car. Something that everyone kind of always dreams of when you play on a PlayStation. You say, oh, this car is awesome. Why can it not be real? And now Audi made it happen, and it's here. The car is not just built for show and not just to look at it, it's built to drive. So Audi said, okay, let's bring it to the Formula E racetracks. Let's give our guests a chance to experience what it's like being in an electric car and what it's like being on a Formula E circuit. Well, I thought it looks super nice. Of course, if you look at it, you will realize that it's based on the IMSA GTO look, but now they look futuristic.
If you look at the grille, the frame, you realize that this is not a normal car. It's something very, very special, and I love how aggressive, how futuristic it is. The second thing that I really love is the aero wheel that we see here. It's based on the IMSA GTO, which had it completely closed. Now it's semi-closed, and it looks so good with the rotor wheels, and yeah, I love the look. And then once we arrive at the back, I love the shape, I love the rear wing. It has kind of a Batman style if you look at it from the side, and I think it just fits amazingly well overall in the concept.
I was not quite sure if it would be cool when you see it in reality, but it's absolutely insane if you look at it. I mean, I think they've done a perfect job. I could not even tell which pictures were from the game and which ones were from reality. Yeah, I got to drive it. Not as much as I wanted to, but at least enough to get a feel for it. This thing has over 800 horsepower, almost 1,000 Newton meters of torque, which is a lot, really a lot, and therefore my expectations were high. But I was not let down by my first try. It was really quick. Well, on April 9th, the car was launched. First, we were just gaming, you know, the Gran Turismo on the PlayStation. That was very cool. I mean, there was a few gamers, and then there was Matthias Ekström, a good racing driver, Rahel Frey, also a racing driver. 10 people overall, and I finished second, even got a trophy, so it was a nice day. We were having a lot of fun. Then people started to realize maybe that's something more that we're doing here. And then the car was launched and was brought in and driven in, and people were shocked, I would say, in that moment, because they were just not expecting something that cool to drive in that hall. Yeah, I mean, I think Formula E has understood right from the beginning that gaming is a huge industry and that it's a kind of a way to interact with people. Not everyone that plays racing games is necessarily a motorsport fan. And I think this is a way to bring them closer to something that's real and to create a lot of interest, you know. And the comments I had after I posted pictures, I posted a video about this car, was that people knew it from the game, but now they wanted to see it because it's such a cool thing.
Let's hit the track, but this time on foot as we head out for a track walk with our host, Luca Filippi, to get his first impressions on the Rome circuit.
The Rome e-PRIX circuit is the second longest track on the calendar at 2.9 kilometers. With 21 turns, the track winds through the eternal city with long wide straights, some tight technical sections, and a large elevation change.
Turns 1 and 2 take us around the Palazzo dei Congresi.
Yeah, we are in turn 3-4, going downhill. It's very fast, flat out. Obviously, it's a long, let's say, straight line, even if the circuit is still turning. And then goes down the hill, and there is a braking zone into 5. It could be also an overtaking point, but it's gonna be a tough one. And then while you are turning right and braking, then you have to stop almost and turn left, and that's challenging.
Turns 5 and 6 take us through a tunnel underneath Via Cristoforo Colombo.
So definitely there are different kind of asphalt. This is very slick and a little bit older, and then comes out that this one is much rougher. And so the grip is gonna change from the inside to the outside of the corner, so you have to be prepared that on power you can probably attack a little bit more. And then there are also some sections with brand new asphalt, and the change is going to be different again.
Turn 10 is the start of the more technical section of the track. A 90-degree right leading to the chicane of turns 11 and 12 and the start line.
Yeah, when we get here, we really feel we are in the heart of Rome, because obviously you see the obelisk and you know, you really feel the Rome atmosphere. It's very nice. This is also where we have the start, so it's a crucial part of our race. And after that, there is a very, very tight hairpin that technically goes from this road section that goes this way to the other one, and actually is a 180-degree very tight. For the start, it's gonna be a bit of a challenge because obviously it could be easy to get incidents there.
Turns 14 and 15 lead into the tight double chicane. At turns 16, 17, 18, and 19.
So yeah, we are almost at the pit entrance. This is a very slow part of the circuit. There is a double chicane, a left and right, that you can try and use as much curve as possible, but then you can't breathe because you have another one, so right and left again. And also, right at the exit, you have the pit entrance, which is quite tight, but it's also the way, you know, to stop us down and let us go a little bit slower to get into the pit entrance. And all my friends, they will be on that grandstand, so I really hope they will enjoy the show.
The final two turns are another quick left, then a right to bring us back to the finish line. A qualifying session of gladiatorial proportions took place on the Rome streets. Air temperature was 22 degrees, very pleasant conditions for racing, but it wasn't pleasant for our host Luca Filippi, who didn't go out on time and didn't manage to set a qualifying lap. The same was true for Jerome D'Ambrosio of Dragon Racing.
Andre Lauder went fastest in the groups with a fantastic final sector, and Lucas de Grazzi was pushed out.
The top 5 fastest drivers then went through to a super pole shootout. They would have had one more lap to try and claim pole position. Mitch Evans locked up but still managed to put a reasonable time on the board. Sam Bird kept it together to go quicker than Evans. Buemi's mistake at the hairpin meant he was only good enough for 3rd place.
L'épingle, j'ai pas freiné.
Pole machine Felix Rosenqvist was pushing, and even though he brushed the wall on the exit of the chicane, he still went 0.6 of a second quicker than anyone else. Talk about speed, Felix.
Lotterer was last out, but it was a scruffy lap from the German, touching the wall on a couple of occasions, so it was only 4th in the grid for him.
It was another pole for speedy Swede Felix Rosenqvist. Let's catch up with the 26-year-old Mahindra Racing driver as he guides us through his exhilarating pole lap. Felix currently sits 2nd in the Drivers' Championship.
Hi, I'm Felix Rosenqvist. I will try to take you around this very tricky Rome E-PRIX circuit on my pole position lap. So here we start to prepare the lap in the 3rd sector. Just make sure that the brakes and the tires are in the right window. So this is the corner starting the lap. So this is the line there. We start the lap coming into the 1st section. Pretty basic, 90 right, 90 left. Want to make sure you get a really, really good exit on this long straight, which goes a lot downhill. This is probably the trickiest corner of the track because the car just wants to rotate around itself here like a sledgehammer on ice when it brakes. So quite tidy there, just make sure to have a good exit, not risking too much, going to the wall. Here you have a very long straight uphill, so opposite of the previous one. Important to get a good one here because you're accelerating slower, spending more time on this straight. Coming into turn 9, very quick 90-degree left, going over crest there, car takes off a little bit. Going down again to the wall, here we come into 90 right. Very many 90 degrees on this lap, just going to the wall there. Very quick chicane here where you can't take the curves too much because that unsettles the car. You see there, I touched the wall a little bit on exit there, even if you couldn't see it. Coming to the slowest corner of the track, the hairpin, very late on the brake there. I just managed to get it in, so actually nailed that one. I think it made up a lot of lap time there. 90 right, quite basic, just try to keep it clean. Focus, not do any mistakes. 90 left, which is a bit banked, very quick on exit, close to the wall there again. Here we have a very tricky double chicane, so you take the curve there again on the right, and then try to power out of it. It's a very, very funny corner, that one. Last 2 corners, just try to carry a lot of speed to the line there, going to the wall, and yeah, that's the pole position lap on a very, very tricky Rome E-PRIX circuit.
Well, what a lap from Felix. Now let's head to the driver's briefing to hear any concerns they may have before the upcoming race.
This meeting is chaired by the FIA-appointed race directors and happens prior to every race. It allows drivers to discuss any issues they may have with the forthcoming E-PRIX. It is normally off limits, with no cameras allowed inside, but Street Racers has once again been granted special permission.
All right, everybody's here. How's everybody doing? It's nice to be back. Thank you. I can tell you right now from watching the video from the shakedown, there is a significant amount of impeding onto the safety lane in the corners. That is not permitted. I realize that the corners are tight, I realize what's going on, but if you have to slow down to not get into the working lane, you have to do that. That's a really black and white thing.
So what's gonna happen?
If you do it, it's not touching, it's impeding into it. But if somebody does it and we see it, I'll report it to the stewards.
What's the penalty?
I don't know, that's up to the stewards.
No.
My guess would be it's something like a drive-through, but I don't know because I don't make the penalties. I just tell them what I see. Give me a comment, Seb, why not?
Just the last one. Can we be a little bit more clever when we position those boxes? There is lots of space everywhere. And if you look at the Tichita one guy has the easiest speed entry of anyone because he just goes straight, and the next one is completely screwed.
Yeah.
It's a clear advantage.
There is plenty of space. You could have moved the Tichita one a bit further and have a proper car
Again,
like everyone else.
you're not going to like my answer, but yes, those are valid points. Nothing's going to change for tomorrow.
Just me, but every time I'm looking out there, they're driving around the sweepers, but they're driving way offline.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe it would be good to brief them on
Yeah.
to stay on the racing
I'll do
line.
it. My Italian's not that great, but I'll make sure that we make it happen tonight.
If we have an issue either going downhill or going uphill,
Yes.
do we just sort of
Please-
crash the car into the wall?
Please don't coast. Try to keep the car stationary.
Yeah, when we get out, like
You can't get out.
you can't get out.
Yeah, there's nowhere. I mean, there's a few openings along the fence, a few escape holes, but not a lot. So I would ask you to stay in the car until you are attended to. That's the safest place for you to be.
Now it's time for ancient streets to electrify as Formula E goes racing in the Eternal City. Let's head to the grid to catch up with our host.
In qualifying, we ran out of time, so we couldn't have a lap together. And unfortunately, we have to start from P17 on the grid. I'm sure I will make up some places and have a strong result.
Star power was shining bright on the grid with not just Hollywood celebs, but ex-Formula One driver Felipe Massa too. Felix Rosenqvist sat on pole with Sam Bird next to him on the front row. It was time to go racing for the first ever Rome E-PRIX.
1, 2, 3, ready to check.
Copy, hear you loud and clear.
All 5 lights are on, and we go green in Rome. Bird fancies a look up the inside on the run down to turn 1, and it's a good start from Lotterer, nosing to the inside line. Mitch Evans looks to the outside and might get caught out. Everybody else in a traffic jam around the Colombo hairpin, but it's Rosenqvist who leads. No big position changes apart from Oliver Turvey. Oh, and into the back. Alex Lynn crashes again into the back of Jean-Eric Byrne.
Eduardo Mortara pushing Lopez into the wall.
Oh, and they just about squeezed through. Mortara was trying to avoid Felipe in front of him.
In that top 10 group, here comes Lopez.
Jose Maria Lopez sends it up the inside of Felipe. That was lovely.
I was close on first, but Lopez got me instead.
Yes, copy. Saw that. You're looking good. Good on energy. Keep pushing. Stay with the pack.
Meanwhile, the gap at the front has come down to less than 2 seconds. Bird has brought it back in. There is Rosenqvist and there is Bird.
Last lap. Box, box. Box, box.
Oh no! Turvey, Heidfeld, Felipe, Mortara, all in a traffic jam at the hairpin.
Mortara has hit me, and I think I have a puncher coming in.
Okay, be careful with your energy.
Luca's in trouble.
Oh, Alex Lynn again. And someone's...
Rosenqvist is slowing from the race lead. The left rear is bent. He's out of the Rome E-PRIX. Dilbach Gill has his head in his hands. Sam Bird leads the way.
I don't know, I just hit the curb and it broke. Sorry.
And Degrassi's using his fan boost now, up the inside, coming into 9. Buemi will try and close the door, but there's nothing he can do to stop Lucas Degrassi moving into 3rd place. Buemi down to 4th, but he's now got the hard-charging Lotterer coming behind him as well. Here comes Lotterer up the inside of Buemi. Makes the job done. And here comes Evans. And Degrassi's there as well. They're all fanning out, and Bird covers the inside. Edge of your seat stuff. 3 for the lead with 5 laps to go. Evans dummies Bird. Locks up. They survive. Here comes Degrassi up the inside of Evans. Evans has to give him room. Degrassi caught him napping. Evans, though, is going to get the cutback here as they come down into turn 9. He fancied this dummy before. Lotterer tries to go around the outside of Evans. Can he pull that one off? It'll be quite the move if he can. And Evans back up the inside into the obelisk chicane. Evans is desperate to stand on a Formula E podium for the first time. Is Lotterer going to use that overtaking spot at turn 9? Looks to the inside, he's going for it here, Lotterer. Evans closes the door, and Lotterer goes to the outside. He can't pull that one off, he tried it last time around. Evans is going to wall him. Final lap of the E-PRIX. Once again, Lotterer's going to go to the outside. He's got more of an overlap this time around. He's done it. Evans hasn't got enough energy. Look, he's down to 2%. Mitch Evans and Jaguar are not going to get what they wanted. Around the outside goes Daniel Abt. Evans can do nothing. The Jaguar has run out of energy, but it looks like it's going to be Sam Bird as he takes victory in the first Rome E-PRIX. Come on!
That victory for Sam Bird propels him up to 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, overtaking Felix Rosenqvist, who has now failed to finish 2 of the last 3 races after starting on pole. That means Team Techeetah's Jean-Eric Vergne still leads the way, although his lead has now been cut to just 18 points.
After his collision on lap 16, our host and hometown hero, Luca Filippi, could only make up 4 places. He eventually finished in 13th.
Didn't go like to plan, but still it was amazing to race in front of my home crowd. I loved it. I hope to do it again next year.
Unlucky, Luca, but I'm sure you'll be back stronger than ever.
Let's check out what's been going on in the world of social media. Ex-Formula 1 driver Felipe Massa teased us on whether we could see him around the paddock again in the future.
But I'm talking with some teams. Let's see if it can be possible to race in the future.
We certainly hope so, Felipe.
Our host, Luca Filippi, tweeted saying how much of an honor it was to receive a blessing from His Holiness, Pope Francis.
Formula E also posted this video of the car being blessed. What an honor for the series. The Pope also blessed reigning champion Lucas Degrassi's unborn child, and maybe the future Formula E Season 24 champion.
Man of the day, Sam Bird, Instagrammed this epic pic of him celebrating victory in front of the amazing Italian fans.
Way to go, Sam. What a way to represent after that stunning drive.
And finally, BMW increases its ties with Formula E as race title partner for the Berlin E-PRIX. Make sure you don't miss that one on May 19th.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week, but don't miss the next episode as Team Techeetah driver Jean-Eric Vergne will be guest hosting the show straight out of his home city of Paris, as we'll be going racing for round 8 for the 2018 Qatar Airways Paris E-PRIX.
See you then, street racers. Peace out.